Hello Deverne and welcome Year 5 to lesson number 4 of chapter 2, where we're looking at adding and subtracting within 1 million. So again, we have our little friend Mr. Hannes here, in case you're not recognising him as one of our normal maths no problem friends. So this spreadsheet shows the amount of money Mr. Hannes spent on taxi fares in Jakarta, and it's very, very similar to the one that we looked at yesterday, if not in fact exactly the same. Okay, it says compare the amount Mr. Hannes spent on taxi fares on the 4 days he was in Jakarta. Elliot says here, what is a good way to add and subtract numbers like these? So first of all, in the Let's Learn section, we have all of our friends here, and they are working out the total cost of taxis for each day. So it says calculate the taxi fare total for each day. We did this yesterday, so this knowledge should be in our heads or in our books, or in fact our friends have provided it for us here. So on the 13th of September, we have 150,000 rupees was spent on taxis. On the 14th of September, we had, and Sam's working out, 40,000, add 45,000 is 85,000. Okay, on the 15th of September, we had 43,000 and 42,000, then 25,000 and 21,000 added together. On the 16th of September, Lulu has worked out that we've got 46,000 and 150,000, which in total gives us 196,000. Now, when we're looking at these totals, we can see, with the exception of Amira, who's still got 2 individual totals here, we can see everyone's come to the conclusion of a number. So if what we'll do is we'll work out how much Amira's day cost. So it was 85,000, add 46,000. So remember, there's several ways we can work this out. Either we could just think about it being 85 and 46 and work it out in our heads, then add on our zeros to make sure that it remains as being thousand number. We could use the column method, or we could look at our thousands and our 10,000s. And we could draw them out using our counters. So we would need 8 10,000s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 5 1,000s. Then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10,000 for the 40, and 6,000s for the 6 in 46,000. Okay, so remembering we might need an additional column for 100,000 in case anything needs renaming. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're left with the 1, and we add a new 10,000 counter on. We've then got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to group those together, and we're going to exchange them or rename them from a 10,000 into a 100,000. Then we're left with 1, 2, 3. We have our 1. So 131, remembering that we're talking about thousands, 131,000. So over here, if we were using our column method, it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 5 add 6 is 11. 1 down here, carry that extra 10,000 over. 1 add 8 is 9. Add 4 is 13. 3, and then we'd carry that 1 extra over into the 100,000 space and then drop it down as there's nothing else to add it to. So if we now have 150,000 on the 13th of September, 85,000 on the 14th of September, 131,000 on the 15th of September, and 196,000 on the 16th of September, we should be able to tell that the cheapest day for taxis, the day when the taxis spent the least, was on the 14th of September, whereas the most expensive day with the biggest value of number was on the 16th of September. That is comparing where we're looking at the differences. Okay, let's move on to our next section of the Let's Learn. Okay, so here it says, how much more did Mr. Hannay spend on taxis fares on the 16th of September than on the 14th of September? Here we are making a direct comparison. We are finding the difference. So they've popped the two dates into a mini table and put the total amount of taxi fares into the next column. Okay, so this is a subtraction. When you're finding the difference, you're comparing which is more or less. So you can do this by solving a subtraction problem. Remember, with the subtractions, the big number goes at the top and the smaller number goes at the bottom. So here we have Hannah. Hannah's saying it's like 196 take away 85 because we've not got any ones, tens or hundreds to worry about, but we do need to make sure, Hannah, that we add those back on afterwards. So we can use it, work it out using the column method, or we can use it with our counters where we have to make sure that we are crossing them out. Now here they have drawn both totals. So for this is the 16th of September where we had the 196,000. They've drawn all of the counters out there. Then they've drawn the 85,000 rupees down here. They've crossed these out and then they've crossed the same amount out up here. This can be confusing for you. Sometimes you're better to draw out the bigger amounts. Let me just show you. So, for example, I would draw out my hundreds, thousands, my 10,000s and my thousands. So for 196, it would be 1 in 100, 9 in the 10,000s for 90, and then 6 in my thousands for the 196,000s. I don't need to draw my hundreds, tens and ones because there's nothing showing in that place other than the 0 that's a placeholder. Okay, then I'm going to cross out 85. So I know I've got 85. 5 is my thousand, so I cross out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm left with 1. And then I'm going to cross out 80 from the ones I have here. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Again, I'm left with 1. And then here I have 1. So we have 111,000. Okay, does that make sense? So that would be your answer to here. And we can see that we have the answer here, 111,000. You can do both, but it might confuse you and you might think that you are adding. So I would recommend just drawing out your largest number and then removing or crossing out or taking away your smaller number. Okay, guided practice. They have put all of the dates into a small table for you, and they have put all of the completed taxi fares next to them. The taxi fare for the 16th of September is how much rupees more than it was the day before. So we're looking at the 16th of September and the day before, which is the 15th, which is, again, biggest number first. Doesn't matter that it was the day before. 196,000, take away 131,000. They've suggested that you use the column method, but also up here we have Ruby, who says it's like 196, take away 131. She's shown us how to do it with the counters there. Okay, and again, they're all saying which method they prefer. Ravi prefers to do it mentally in his head. Then we have Emma, who prefers to write it down. And we have Charles, who prefers to use the counters. Either way, completely fine. Pick which one you prefer. Don't feel like you need to push yourself onto something which you don't understand. Now, for our worksheet activity, we have some clothes here. It says a clothing store in Jakarta, Indonesia is selling their merchandise or things that they essentially make at these prices, and they've all got a price tag connected to them. The difference between the price of the long sleeve shirt and the price of a t-shirt is, so you need to look for a long sleeve shirt, which is 38,000, and a t-shirt, which is 21. You're finding the difference, so you are taking away 38,000, take away 21,000. Okay, column method, think of it as 38 taking away 21 and do it in your head, or draw your counters down. Good luck.